As Dennis, our great host, has already mentioned, from Frankfurt in Germany. And I take it indeed as a great pleasure and privilege to be here today and to talk to you, because you are in the middle of interests this afternoon, and hopefully we were able to organize a program that will find appreciation from your side. I was given quite a difficult topic this afternoon. Anybody who is expecting somebody else to talk only within 25 minutes about marketing in sport for all has taken over quite a difficult task. But I will try, and you will finally evaluate whether this is possible. I was indeed very impressed by the announcement your minister made this afternoon, because I would say this is an excellent introduction to the topic of marketing. It's sort of political marketing, and I'm very enthusiastic and excited about this new format, this new concept he has announced, that is to say, putting sport for all, nutrition, sustainability and health into one entity. This documents that Greece, and I must say, compared with other European countries, this is a new start, puts tremendous significance on sport for all by giving sport for all this special position in a ministry. We will look very attentively and very carefully to this model of Greece. It could be a role model for all Europe, because sport for all is not anymore sitting at the little table as the little brother of elite sport. It appears to me that it has received full recognition, and not by reducing the significance of elite sport, but just giving it a full format and a full position in another ministry. So for me, this is political marketing for sport for all, if you want. But anyway, let's start what I would like to say. Marketing in sport for all, maybe it gives me the opportunity only for 1 or 2 minutes to let you know what organizations all of us are representing. We are sort of representing the International Sport for All Association that is called TAFISA. TAFISA has been growing dramatically over the last 10 or 5 years. Why? There is a good reason for many countries in the world, for most of the governments in the world, to give now also support, not just to elite sport, but also sport for all. We by now have some 220 member organizations worldwide, coming from all continents, and they are all the national leading sport for all organizations. Next one. Our major objectives are lobbying international for sport for all. Sport for all needs a voice. Sport for all does not have the power of an organization like IOC, like FIFA, like UEFA. So we are fighting hard to getting sport for all the same position, providing and coordinating programs and events, and providing networking and experience transfer platforms like we are sitting here together today. Because one of our strong beliefs is, in an area of sport, like sport for all, where money everywhere is rather scarce, we will never have the same budget as elite sport. Because elite sport, for most governments in the world, is something which is very important, and I'm positive on that, for the international reputation and image. However, we also need budgets for sport for all. But since this is the reason that we are working in a field of only a few budget, we have to share experiences. We should not duplicate. We should look at all those countries that are already strong in one field and then ask them, please help us to do the same. This can happen to Greece as to Germany or any other country. So sharing experience and providing some networks for that are important. This is our network. On the international level, we have corporations and agreements and working relationships with UNESCO, ICSPER, the International Olympic Committee, WHO, and other organizations. And below TAFISA, we have regional institutions, and this all platform today, this forum, is organized all together with our European branch, which is called European Sport for All Network. But we have similar structure in Asia, in Latin America, And finally, it comes to all of our members that are governmental and non-governmental members. This is, so to say, the TAFISA world. You can see that there are still quite some countries in Africa that have to be attracted to become our members if we have a good program. I mean, it doesn't make sense to become a member just to become a member. They need to get something from TAFISA, and that's why we have just started with the United Nations African Sport for All Development Program. Our members, you can see here, we have National Sport Federation, National Sport for All Councils, NOCs, sport ministries, like in Greece, for example, the Sport Directorate of Greece, as part of the Ministry of Culture, is our member. We have universities, institutes of sport, and also international sport federations. And we are right now working on signing an agreement with Special Olympics. This is another message that we have to share. It doesn't make sense that TAFISA starts working in the field of mentally handicapped people. There is an organization, so why not to cooperate and offer to them our network of launching their special message. We have various programs like the World Challenge Day, the World Congresses, AAAC, which is a city program, certified leadership courses, so promotional events, educational events, so a whole portfolio of various instruments and target groups. Now coming to the topic of today. First of all, I would like to make you feel that you are not working on your own, but you are a part of a global movement. This is also to motivate and to encourage you. Then I would like to explain the importance of social marketing, going through some marketing strategies and finishing up with some conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you have all to be aware that you are, if you want or not, you are a part of an overall global international sport for all movement. This is existing. There is some sort of globalization in sport for all as well, but this only started about 50 years ago under the title Sport for All. Sport for All appears to be the word, the vocabulary that is our common language worldwide. It's our international language. The term Sport for All is very helpful. And our concept, of course, like in Greece, Germany, or Poland, is an open concept. We are inclusive people, not like the IOC or like FIFA, where only a limited number of sport organizations, maybe only one per country or one per discipline, can become a member. We believe we should be inclusive and open to offer everybody, all organizations that are interested, and serious organizations, to become a member. And altogether, if you count, you will find out that worldwide by now there are about 2 billion people, participants in Sport for All. And for that reason we can say, do you want to allow the following program to make changes to this computer? However, this is actually not what I was looking for. Can we go on? And the first conclusion then should be the global Sport for All movement, and you are all part of that, is representing the largest civil movement, the largest civil interest group in the world. Number two, there has been growth. Sport for All has been increasing in quantity and in quality. We can easily prove that compared to 10 years ago, the number of active people in the world has increased. There is an establishment of new organizations worldwide. There is new mass programs and events in Sport for All, and there are also a lot of marketing campaigns in various communities and countries worldwide. So there is some experience, but as you can see, next please, as a result of globalization, Sport for All today disposes of its own system and network of organizations, infrastructure, responsibilities, programs, and so on. We have our own world, we have our own concept. So we are sort of independent in a way, and we are taken serious for many reasons. And your minister also pointed this out. Why is this? This only happened, this increase of reputation for Sport for All only came up about 10, 15 years ago. One of the reasons is that by now, science in all countries of the world can prove that it is not just anymore something that is unclear, that sport has preventional reasons, that it is integrative. This has now all been scientifically proven, and this makes lots of governments now active and also investing in sport for all. We know it promotes good health, it supports peace and better understanding, it offers activities and good company in old age, it provides the opportunity for civic commitment like volunteerism, which is very, very strongly within sport for all. So what I'm saying, basically, there are many positive connotations that are going along with sport for all, and this is our munition, this is our power that we can play on, and this is why we are also getting increasingly support from governments from all over the world, because they start to understand if you give support to sport for all or physical activity, you can, for example, save money somewhere else. In Germany, we have a recent figure that if you invest into prevention policy, you all know these figures, you could save up to 25–27% of disease costs. In all countries of the world, not just the developed countries, also the developing countries, the disease costs explode. Nobody knows how to cope with that. And, but no politician by now is interested, many of them are not interested in investing in a 10 or 15 years long strategy, because prevention cannot be done in 4 years, the normal term of a politician to be elected. So this is still a little bit a problem. But anyway, our third conclusion, due to its manifold social benefits, most of the governments worldwide have recognized the promotion and development of sport for all as a major responsibility. This is good for us, and what the Greek minister said this very afternoon, to give sport for all its own position, is also a little bit a reflection on this worldwide trend. But it's still a very innovative and a very future-oriented idea and approach. Now coming to marketing. I know that there are still quite some people who are saying sport for all and marketing, this does not work. Formula One, soccer tournaments, this is where marketing really works. But I think we have to be aware that it is true that sport for all people cannot rely on concepts that are successful in top sports. We cannot just transfer the marketing concept of a Formula One race or a final game of a soccer tournament to sport for all. Why? No, please go back. Because we are missing something that elite sport has. For example, we don't have global media coverage. We don't have visibility. Our events are happening at grassroots level, at community level. No national broadcasting service would be interested in broadcasting live. However, this does not mean sport for all cannot be marketed. But we have to find out, we have to prove, we have to develop unique and a new innovative fundraising approach which is based on the specific strong points of sport for all. Once again, not to transfer from elite sport to sport for all, but finding out about our own strong points and opportunities that are definitely within sport for all. They are different, and we might need to be a little bit more creative. We have to be a little bit more intelligent, but I'm very optimistic and I'm very positive when saying there are opportunities. When it comes to marketing, you might all know the term, the word marketing, is a rather new word. It only came up in sciences, in economics, at the beginning of the 60s, the 1960s. Before, the term marketing was not known at all. Why was the term marketing introduced? The reason for that is that at the beginning of the 60s, a period started where there were more products than consumer demands. more products than consumer demands. In the 50s, in Germany, for example, the car manufacturers could just deliver the cars. There were less cars than consumer wishes. In former East Germany, for example, you had to wait 20 years before you were able to buy a car, because the production rate in East Germany was rather small. Only when it started that there were more products than consumer demands, you had to start it to actively market your product. Because clients, consumers would not just go to a shop and buy your product. On the contrary, suddenly there was a selection of 5, 6, 7 products, all similar, and any product wanted to be sold or bought. So this active term marketing, ing, which reflects this active status of the word, only came up in the beginning of the 60s. Now, what has this to do with our field? No, please go back. If you are talking about marketing, it's not only sponsorship. Marketing is a very global term. And if you refer to the private sector company, you will find out that marketing describes a series of strategies to effectively sell. This is very important. A product like a car, or a service like a school program or whatever. And it is a fixed set of mechanisms that are applied. So as I said before, marketing is not just selling a product. Marketing starts very early. Marketing, first of all, includes market research. You have to find out, is there at all a need for a new product? Maybe you are going to design a product nobody needs. So, first of all, you need to have market research. Then, with the results of market research, you have to design the right product based on identified needs. So this is the second step, to find out what product meets or fits with the identified needs. And in the second step, you have to make the product available. You have to build the car. You have to build the new chocolate bar, or to create. And then you have to bring it on the market to an appealing price. Of course, the price nowadays is very important, even though your product might be a very quality one. But if the price is too high, it will stay in the supermarket and nobody will pick it up. And last but not least, you have to communicate. People need to know that your product is available. If nobody knows, there is no interest, there is no need for a consumer or a client to buy it. And finally, please go back again. Finally, the success of your marketing strategy is measured in the number of products or services that have been sold. There are companies, like for example Ferrero, I'm sure you know Ferrero, the chocolate. Every evening they are counting the number of bars or whatever they are selling to find out whether they have to change the product. It's like magic. If they find out that some product in one market does not work, immediately they change their strategy within a couple of hours. My oldest daughter, just another example, when she was a student, she worked with Hennes and Mauritz. You know Hennes and Mauritz, this confectionery, Hennes H&M. Do you have H&M in Athens? Yeah. They are doing very well. She explained to me, it happened that overnight they changed the whole selection of dresses because they found out the old one didn't work. So a new production came in to satisfy the interest of the consumer. This is traditional marketing used by private sector companies. Now, when it comes to the marketing in sport for all, next please. We are talking these days about social marketing. Social marketing in contrast to business marketing applied by companies. And in social marketing, we are using the same strategies. We have to make market research, we have to design the right product, and so on. However, there is one fundamental difference between conventional marketing and social marketing. Our interest, our ultimate goal is not so much to sell a product like a car or to sell a service. Our ultimate goal is to influence people's behavior, personal behavior. Our interest, for example, is to make people feel and behave more healthy. We are trying to influence the people's change of behavior or minds. So in short, we have social marketing, we have commercial marketing. Social marketing is about people, individuals and their needs, in contrast to products and services. Our point of sales, so to say, are communities, sport clubs, local communities, whereas with commercial marketing, it is shops, it is supermarkets, it is other places. We are going for desired benefits, change of behavior. They want to do a surplus, they have to earn money, otherwise the product will not survive. We are motivating behaviors. They are in the field of selling and marketing products. We want better lifestyles, and they are sort of following legal laws and regulations. So there is a difference, but the basics are the same. To positively change the behavior of a large group of citizens, we need a comprehensive set of strategies. And this includes the application of established, of proven marketing principles and communication techniques. As you all know, it is quite helpful to follow those major questions. Communication policy, how do we attract attention? How do we communicate to those target groups we want to reach? Maybe senior citizens, maybe school mates, maybe parents or women. You decide. What sort of programs are we offering? What are the contents? What sort of events, programs, you name it. The sales policy. What are your partners? Are there partners around that might be helpful for you, where you should form alliances or partnerships? And finally, in our case, very, very important, the finance policy. Normally, an organization like TAFISA, if they want to start a social marketing campaign, does not have its own budget. So it's even more complicated for us, because even though we might have a good idea and a good concept for a marketing strategy, we also have to attract, now the word comes, sponsors. Maybe companies from the private sector that might have the same aim, like in health insurance. But those are major questions we have to pay attention to. So, for example, when it comes to the product policy, we have found out that it might be quite helpful to organize national or regional events that allow for a quantity of people to participate and get to know and get to familiar with sport for all. For some people it's a new experience, so we have to offer them good opportunities to make them self-acquainted with this new concept. And normally all events on the national level follow a uniform brand concept with a high level of standardization, including a single brand name, uniform rules, and a standardized promotion program. This is a basic concept when it comes to the creation and management of a national, for example, Greek Walking Day or Greek Challenge Day or whatever. Also in particular to attract sponsors. Next one. One example for that is the TAFISA World Challenge Day. I remember that a couple of years ago there were communities from Greece to participate as well. So we have this single brand name, we have the label and so on, which we need to attract sponsors. It is highly standardized, but at the same time it allows the regional, the local community to make it regional and local. It has to have this special flexibility that each regional or local market can participate. Next one. The TAFISA World Walking Day is a similar system. The idea is to provide a highly standardized communication and event package and then give it to national markets with all the flexibility that is needed to make it a regional or national event, but by using the central and the standardized aspects of the overall concept. This is, for example, the reflection of a mass event in Germany. It is all supported financially by our biggest German health insurance. Remember, health insurance has the same objective as a Sport for All campaign. They want to reduce disease costs to save money, so they have an interest that people are more active, have better nutrition and so on. And this, for example, is a road show paid by this health insurance that is traveling all over Europe, all over Germany during the summer weeks from one city to the next city, and they bring all the little tents, the playgrounds, the information desks and so on. And this is also a very standardized event. It can be included in each community program, and it's a quite successful opportunity to get in touch, in particular with those people that are not physically active. But we have other examples of famous mass sport events. This is a very interesting one, swimming of the Lake Balaton in Hungary. 2 times a year, when the water is warm enough, it is a huge national Hungarian event where 10,000s of Hungarian people and foreigners swim all across the Lake Balaton. It has big communication. It's in the #1 newspapers and broadcasting services. We have Bogota. Bogota has a sensational event. It's called Ciclovia. Every Sunday between 6 o'clock in the morning and 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Bogota municipality closes down 110 kilometers of ring road. It is then only open for cyclists, runners, you name it. It's a beautiful event, and it happens every Sunday. It is very professional. So it's the Colombian way how to attract vast audiences for physical activity. This is an example from Macau, the International Challenge Day. This is from Iran, the World Walking Day, where masses of people, of crowds, are participating. And we know from event marketing, when it comes to sponsorship, that the advantages of event marketing for a sponsor is mainly seen in the fostering of the relationship to the consumers and to establish an emotional approach or connection between the product of a company and the client through Sport for All. There is scientific proof that these are the major reasons why sponsors support Sport for All mass sport events. Coming to the communication policy. A cornerstone of social marketing is to establish and provide high-quality educational and motivational resources to target audiences. Some of the resources are directed to specific segments of population, while others are intended to support and qualify the member base of the Sport for All leaders. So what does this mean? Next one. With a communication policy, first of all, we want to raise awareness. We want to make people aware of the health-related issues of physical inactivity. This needs special communication means. We have education. To educate as to the many benefits of Sport for All. This is a step further. Then we have to motivate people to take personal action. For that we also need events that people cannot say, where can I go? There's no event where I can try to do it. And we have always to remind them with communication that they have to do it again and again. This is an example from Germany, how we tried to raise interest. You remember the first step? And we were looking for new pictures, new photos, where people might just wait for a second and try to understand what is the meaning of this poster. So you all know, what's again the name of this? Aspirin, thank you. This is aspirin, and we just changed the package, and instead of little pills, it is soccer balls. And people were sort of fascinated from this. This poster tells the story. Next one. This rose some confusion in our society, because you all know this picture from plastic surgery. When people go to the doctor, they are not doing sports, but they are removing fat just by plastic surgery. So we were using this sort of idea, and we were wondering, will people understand? They did understand. Next one. Oh, this is a very healthy meal, which only works with gear and equipment from sport. Next one. And this is also something which is a little bit different, even very confusing. The important thing here is, because we can own, I told you, we have not much money. But what we can do in Germany, we have so-called social billboard opportunities. The billboard companies that are private in Germany offer for special humanitarian organizations free use of billboards. That is to say, we only have to buy and produce the paper. But what is most expensive normally in Germany is to pay for hanging the posters to the billboards. And this, of course, is also a sort of sponsorship in kind, not to pay certain billboard fees. And this is how it looks, for example, at Frankfurt Airport, Frankfurt plane station. This is also reality, another motif. Next one. And we even produced active billboards, where people could go and play with a billboard. But this was more or less an idea. It was something for public relation purposes. The same is true by using newspapers. So I would recommend to you, if it's not the case already, to go to the newspapers and ask them to publish free of charge advertisings wherever there is space in a newspaper. So what we did in Germany, we asked the assembly of newspaper companies to offer us special space in newspaper pages. Whenever there was some free space to put in our ad. Doesn't cost money, and it's a special opportunity offered by newspapers. This is when I was referring to targeted resources. These are special books, special working books for sport clubs, when it comes to senior citizens, when it comes to family, when it comes to environmental security, and so on. Please go on. Now coming to the most important thing, the finance policy. Since we need extra money from the private market, or from the government, or whatever, and we have to convince them that the money they are giving to us is well invested. But for that reason, and this is a very important aspect, if we are talking about sponsorship, we have to understand that this money we are receiving from a sponsor is not a donation to a well-meaning program, but it is including a real business agreement. It's not fun. You really have to sign a contract, and the sponsor expects that you fulfill all the obligations that you have promised. Otherwise, he will not give you the money. So what I'm saying, to cooperate with a sponsor is real business. Do not expect them to give you money just because you have nice blue eyes or nice hair. It's on the contrary. And this is why it is so important to understand the real objectives and reasons of a company, of a sponsor, for entering a partnership arrangement with Sport for All. Because finally, every sponsor has to prove and demonstrate that this money is well invested. So it is quite a task to finish this up. For that reason, I have just selected a number of beer advertisements. Why? The most important point is to find out about your so-called unique selling point. What is it that makes your program, your campaign, so unique, so special? Because you are also in a competition. There are other organizations that might offer Sport for All programs. So that's why this is important to explain, to find out about the special, strong point, the uniqueness of your program. And breweries are a good example. You can imagine, in Germany we have a special market with 2,000 different breweries. Each brewery wants to sell its beer. But you can imagine there's much more beer bottles to be sold than we have population in Germany. So each brewery is trying to be unique, to be different from another brewery. For example, this beer puts strength on the nature. They want to say we are brewed with natural pure water. It's not unhealthy beer. They associate with nature, like here. Other beer breweries are associating with to socialize, partying, drinking a beer after a soccer match. So they have a different USP. This is not from Germany, I guess it's from Australia. They are even associating themselves with sex. Yeah, somehow it's a very, I don't know whether this would work in Germany or whether it is allowed, but I think it comes from Australia. And this is one of our most famous moderators in Germany. And this beer company is saying, with each box of bottles we are selling, €1 or €2 is going to the rainwood in Brazil. So this is an added value. Some people might to do something good, and they are buying this beer. Anyway, the important message I want to convey is we have to find out about the unique selling point of our product. So, coming to those aspects that are unique to our program, where we can be proud of, where we should work on. We have a good image, positive, high profile credibility. To the degree we are reading stories about match fixing, anti-doping, FIFA confusion, I think our program gets even better and cleaner. We have access to networks. Companies are interested in getting new clients, new consumers. Sport clubs, for example, are a whole group of members that can be accessed. Expertise, new opportunities, but also special value and social responsibility to companies. Lots of companies are right now looking for something good. They want to compensate negative aspects of their product, so they are looking for social responsibility in many ways. Next one. So once again, the positive image we should work on. It is associated with health, activity, social context, joyfulness, adventure. It is part of an active lifestyle. And in contrast to elite sport, it has no negative impact. So it is non-political, non-controversial, ecologically desirable, healthy, and safe. For some companies that don't want to take the risk to work with a cycling star who might be revealed to dope after 2 years, it is the better choice. Next one. Non-profit organization. Supporting education, development, culture, and tradition. All points that we can use when we are approaching a sponsor. Access, as I said before, you all have a huge network of members, of stakeholders, of experts. They can all be sort of offered to a sponsor in terms of getting new contacts. Expertise. You need some creativity. must not only offer what is already existing. Maybe some sponsor wants to work in a special field, and you have the flexibility to design a new program, a new type of walking or cycling, just to suit and to meet the interests of a company. So what I'm basically saying, you have to be a little bit flexible. You just don't have national championships or a world championship. You can be designing new programs that 100% fit the interests of a given sponsor. And you add value because you are offering integration, health, volunteerism, social values that many private sector companies are right now looking for. Unique opportunity. Elite sport is already sort of exploited. Lots of companies are already in this field. But some sponsors are looking for a new opportunity, a field where there is no competition between different sponsors, a field where they can be the first. And of course, here you can offer special opportunities, first in, best dressed. I mean, you have special aspects you can offer to them to make them happy. A sponsor, in return, of course, has also, of course, certain expectations. He wants that this new cooperation with the Sport for All program serves corporate objectives, fits into their target groups. A company that is working in the field of senior products would never sponsor a kids program and vice versa. It should be highly cost efficient to operate. It should demonstrate value-added support to the program, to the product, and not easy to fulfill. It should have measurable results and impact, increase corporate visibility, and also serve the interest of the employers. Next one. However, we believe that you also have to have some rules that you are also sticking to. I mean, you should not sell your soul to a sponsor. So what we in TAFISA are saying is that, of course, first of all, this sponsorship has to further the objectives of our organization. It has to generate a profit somehow for the organization. We need money for personnel, for office costs and so on. It should not have a negative effect on our name or media support. As I said before, it should be safe, healthy, so we are not cooperating with breweries, with cigarette companies, with drug companies and so on. And we should try to maintain 100% control of the content of the program. This is sometimes not easy. Maybe one has to be a little bit more flexible. But we have to make sure that it stays our program and no sponsor's message or endorsement in the editorial content. So I think these are some ideas. I should not go through in detail. You will all get this presentation if you might be interested. These are some very specific, next one please, ideas how to make packages to be offered to sponsors out of our experience. Next one. So, coming to an end, number one, it was my interest to raise, interest on your side, to make you understand social marketing, marketing of sport for all is not magical. Everybody can do it if you follow up certain experiences and rules. So I'm personally, with our experience, very positive and optimistic that there are vast opportunities for sport for all people, in particular with this political future support, with the scientific proof that what we are doing is correct, that marketing in sport for all is a fair opportunity. We all have a fair chance once we are following certain rules and certain mechanisms. Thank you very much for your attention.